Hello, and welcome back to Anti-Depressing. This is the podcast where we talk about everything from liturgy to Lexapro, and we're so excited that you decided to listen.
Yeah, we're here today.
To have you here.
Yeah, we're so excited to have you here. We're still setting up the vibe, so let's see. What kind of light?
Ooh, oh. Wait. Makes us look a little interesting.
No, this is actually nice.
Pink. This is nice.
This is nice against your skin.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much for setting up the aesthetic here.
Yeah. So we're
great.
so happy to be here today. We have a lot of great stories. As you know, we are coming with wonderful content always.
Always delivering. Tier.
Always top tier. Smash the like button. So first, Jasmyn, how are you doing? Like, what's your vibe? What's going on? How's life? How's your kids? Like, how's your kids? Like, what's happening?
Okay, my kids are great. We went to mass this morning, went to the beach. So, like, everything's good. Very Florida vibes.
Love it.
My brother texted me yesterday. He got like 10 inches of snow where he lives in Wisconsin.
Ew.
And I went to the beach this morning. So, you know.
Like, so.
Nothing really wrong over here.
Yeah.
Life is good. How are you, Chenele?
Dude, I'm doing well. You did remind me that we have to go to that donut shop by the beach one day.
Oh, that's
like
so true.
Honeybee or something. Steven would pass
We have to go to every donut shop.
We have to go to every
honestly.
donut shop.
That's the toxic trait.
Yeah. But Jasmyn and her husband are in their healthy girl era. So
we are.
Yeah, so I have to hit that up for like, you know,
when I'm not snacking
when
on
you're not
carrots and
snacking
snap
on carrots
peas.
and snap peas. But yeah, I'm doing well. We had a garage sale this weekend, so we made $100, which is pretty awesome. And mommy was excited. It was mostly just about like getting the stuff out of the house. So you know how that is when
lots
you're just
of donations to be made.
Lots of donations. Yeah. So it was great, super fun. Went out to eat with a friend. Went to this place that has barbecue and they make homemade donuts and have to take you and your husband there.
And once again, I will say, you see the toxic trait. You see the trend.
Yeah. So it's so good. They like have homemade donuts.
I love
I had a s'moreo donut. So it was like a fresh donut with vanilla glaze.
Oh my gosh.
Marshmallow, crushed Oreos, stuffed with chocolate.
Did you cry a little? One tear?
It was nuts. And the person that I was with was like, I'm not really into desserts, so I don't know about that. Yeah.
That tells you a lot about a person.
It does tell me a lot. He was like, this is a psychopathic trait. So he acknowledged it.
That's good. Okay, yeah, then it actually is not psychopathic, I feel, if you acknowledge it.
Yeah,
address it head on, man.
Yeah, for sure. So went out to dinner, got donuts, had a garage sale, loving life. Happy that you're here.
Love it. Happy to be here.
Yeah, this week going to visit a friend, going to the confirmation of her daughter, which is so exciting. Love a good confirmation. And yeah, just like vibing. So
amazing.
Yeah, I have a quick question for you to just kick off the episode. Something random. Didn't even prepare this.
That is not on the list.
Yeah, didn't even
I'm a
press
list
this.
girly, so this is a little stressful.
I know. I'm gonna ask you something so personal.
Hit me with it.
Okay, if you could rid the world. You had to rid the world of one of these food items. Which one would it be?
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Here
we go. Cheese.
Absolutely not.
Okay, but like, wait.
But what are the other
cheese.
things?
All seasonings.
Oh.
Minus salt.
Oh.
And you love salt. Okay, so cheese, all seasonings, minus salt, or all fizzy non-water drinks, so just water.
I already know.
Which one?
All fizzy non-water drinks.
What?
I could do it. I could do water, and coffee is not fizzy.
Oh, okay.
I could live on water and coffee. You should have said coffee, because then it would have been seasonings, but I would not make it without coffee and cheese.
Okay.
I am from Wisconsin, and I need caffeine, so I wouldn't make it. But the way you set it up, fizzy drinks, I could do it. I have a fizzy drink in my cup right now.
There it is.
I have one of the, what are they called? I always forget.
Yerba mate.
Thank you.
She's a caffeine girl in her caffeine era. Also some ASMR for everyone listening. I'm eating some Velveeta crackers.
She said, should I not be eating these while we record?
How is this going to transmit?
A girl has got to eat.
How is this going to transmit? Let's see.
To all those who are not watching this video and are listening to it, God bless.
Wait,
this
let's
is so
see.
unprofessional. I can hear
Oh, you can hear that?
I can hear the chomp so clear.
Okay, I'm just
That's why I'm not eating carrots right now.
I'm just gonna swallow it.
Yeah. Just let it get soft.
Okay, why don't you talk for the next 10 seconds?
Okay. We are gonna hit you with some great stories that Chenele is actually gonna introduce. So in this little in between, she's just gonna choke down this cracker right quick. Very professional. Let me tell you something about Chenele. You know that trend that was going around that was like, that's not a coping mechanism. It literally is like eating donuts every day. That's not a coping mechanism.
That's mine.
That's like, what's your coping mechanism? And
mine.
She's like, eating donuts every day.
Eating donuts. That's mine.
That's
if you're
not a coping mechanism.
If you're a man out there that agrees, smash that like button. All right. So are you ready for, find me on Catholic Match or Hinge. Never deleted my account. It's up there. So today I checked my Hinge.
It's up there for me to look through and diagnose people. So
today I checked my Hinge. I got 4 likes.
Ooh.
So, yep. One
Could be more
wasn't
after
creepy.
this.
I like matched with them.
Oh, we'll look at it after this.
Yeah.
Maybe if we have time at the end, we'll look at it now.
I see you, Jalen. All right, so here we go. Here are our stories for the day. Okay, first story. The Hunger Games is now on Netflix.
Praise be.
Wonderful. Praise be to God. I love The Hunger Games. Except I am actually scared of it.
I was like, you love it.
Except I'm actually low-key scared of it.
Yeah, that's more right.
Yes. But I am definitely more of a Twilight stan, but I know that you love or appreciate The Hunger Games.
I would say love. I feel that passionately about it.
Okay.
The Hunger Games, I was one of those people, I'm about to be like, unapologetically one of those people who's like, I read the books first, compared the movies to the books, whatever. But I am just like a Jennifer Lawrence girl. I am. Like, I watched all the interviews.
She's so different.
She's so different. She's one of us. You know, like, she's one of us. she's not your basic celebrity. No, but
she
love
knows
her.
that. Mm-hmm.
She does, yeah. She's confident in it.
You know those celebrities that you just, like, have, like, I woke up one day and I didn't like Jennifer Lawrence.
I don't know that way about a lot of celebrities, actually.
I don't know what it is.
You get, like, passionate about it.
But I don't like Jennifer Lawrence.
But you know who she does love? Who's the girl that plays Bella in Twilight?
Anyway, keep going.
You love her. And she has no... I'm not gonna, like, diss on other women like that. But whatever. Jennifer Lawrence watched all the interviews with her and whatever Hemsworth and the guy.
Josh Hutcherson.
Yes.
Peta.
The squad, Peta. Mm-hmm. Watch all the interviews. Love their dynamic. Love the vibe. But honestly, for me, it's like the self-sacrifice, the Christological imagery throughout the books, and honestly, I like the movies too. If you look at them as two different things, both great, right?
Yeah.
But like, when she sacrifices herself for her little sister, like, I have a little sister, and I'm always like, oh, hell yeah, Katniss. Like,
what was her name? Gail? No,
that's
Phoebe?
the boy. I don't know. She called her little duck.
Kristen?
What was her actual name? No, it was something weird, I think.
Bella?
No, Twilight.
Loca?
Back to Twilight. I don't know. I'd have to, like, really think about it.
I don't know.
But she called her little duck. So when her little sister got called up, and she was like,
yeah,
I volunteer, and like sprinted up, like no. I mean, you know my little sister. Like, if she's getting called,
you're going up there.
It's a no for me.
I know.
Like, and then I'll fight all these other kids.
You're going up there. Then Steven's going up there to take your spot. Then I'm going up there to take Steven's spot.
It's getting crazy. I mean, they would be like, you can all come. Honestly, you can all come. It's whatever.
Okay.
But yeah, that was so beautiful to me. Like, I felt that moment, and I'm always here for, like, tearing down the top tier, you know, and fighting back on the Capitol was everything to me. Like, when we got into the later movies and they were like, you know what we're gonna do? Just start a whole revolution. I was like, yeah, we are. We're gonna fight the power. We're gonna fight the power.
She said, we're starting a revolution. We're out here.
I'm a revolution girly.
There it is. The revolution will not be televised. Jasmyn is out here. What did Dorothy Day say? Many people want a revolution, but not everybody wants to do the dishes. That's what it is.
I don't want to do the dishes either, but I'd love to go to a protest, baby.
And I'm out here doing the dishes. You catch me inside. Revolution.
You catch her inside, and I'll go to it.
If I was in the Hunger Games, as soon as they ding that bell, I'm accidentally fallen off that little carousel
there
into some shark-infested waters.
Day's my girl. Good reference.
There it is.
But yeah, love it. Very excited to have it on Netflix. Not excited enough to watch it, notably. Last night I was like, I should put something on in the background while I'm working on stuff, and the Hunger Games popped up, and I was like, now that I have children, the idea of children fighting other children to the death is a little much for me, I think.
If you ever want to just... There it is. You know what? I get it. Which is why your kids, once they become of the age of reason, once Noelle is 7, watching Twilight.
There it is.
And she'll
be like, what? The way she is stressed about everything.
Yeah. She is a pretty stressed out kid. So, for everyone listening, if you want to watch some good old child-on-child violence, Hunger Games is on Netflix. Go ahead, check it out. Highly recommend. Our next story, Tyler Cameron of Bachelor Nation fame has revealed in People magazine that when he started dating Gigi Hadid of Yolanda Hadid's Real Housewives fame, it's okay. I'm a pop culture icon.
She's a Real Housewives girl for sure.
That when he was dating Gigi Hadid, he only had $200 in his bank account.
Wow.
Yeah. And so he revealed that when they would go on dates, he would call his dad and ask him to put money on his debit card because he only had a debit card. Yeah. And so
he said, I can't even get approved for a credit card, Gigi.
Yeah, and so he was like, when this money runs out, it runs
it's
out.
out, baby.
Right? And so he was like, I only had $200 when I was dating her, and I prayed that I would have money on my debit card. And so I think that's so important because there are men out here, for all those ladies, don't lose hope. There are men out here that will have a debit card and call their parents.
That's how desperate they are to date
Chili's. That's how desperate they are to date you.
If they're not doing that,
I'm not asking for anything less.
There it is.
Nothing less than that.
I don't need you to have some fancy job, but you better have parents who can wire you some
bankroll me. There it is. You better have parents that can support my lifestyle.
If they're not selling you, I don't know, man.
Exactly.
I'm out. Okay, that is so wild and representing for all of us who also have $200 in our bank account. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. But crazy to think about someone dating somebody who has a lot of money and not having a lot of money and the need to feel like you need to prove yourself. Because I assume Gigi wasn't like, let's just hit McDonald's, right? Like they're going on elevated dates. And he's trying to like grind it out.
And kudos for her for like looking past that bank account. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Although,
do you think she knew?
Yeah, I don't know. If I was dating Gigi Hadid and I was a dude, I probably wouldn't tell her.
Probably not. Right?
I probably wouldn't tell her. But Tyler Cameron.
Do you think she knew, but she didn't want to like out him because men sometimes like to feel like they can provide? She didn't want to be like, hey, I got it because
maybe.
You have
but also with how I am, I might just be like, because I think I forgot who I was watching in an interview that said like they went out to dinner with Rihanna and everybody was at the end of the dinner, people were like, oh, I got it. And this guy was a comedian and he was like, actually, she got it. She has it. I will not be paying for this.
You know who makes more money than us? Her.
Rihanna. Yeah. It was like, I'm good.
That's so true.
Yeah. And like, funny. And dating already is hard enough. So I just like can't imagine being so stressed out.
Let me ask you, Chenele. I have not dated in 10 years or whatever.
She'll never forget to tell you that she found the love of her life.
I'll never forget.
And have 2 beautiful children. And they laugh together.
I'm just saying I can't imagine. So tell me what it is like dating in the Catholic scene in 2023.
Scary. It's scary. You know when you are sleeping and you are and you're like in your dream, you're on the top of a skyscraper and you start walking and then you're walking towards the edge and you're like, whoa, wake up. And then you walk off the skyscraper and you have a dream that you're falling.
Yes.
And you start like slamming the bed in real life because you're like, oh my gosh, I can't, like, I'm falling. That's what dating feels like now in 2023.
Just falling, nothing
it just
to grab
feels like
onto.
You're falling. There's nothing to grab onto.
Wow.
Because then you're like, you know what? Let me just hit some apps. And you're like, oh man, discouraged. And then you're like, well, it's okay. I'll just meet someone in person. And you're like, you're a priest. So it's just like.
That's so true.
Yeah.
They're all discerning, aren't they?
They're all discerning.
Which God bless. Oh, no, I'm like, quick, before somebody stops listening. No, great.
Yeah,
Discern the priesthood. Priests are great. We love priests. Big fans.
So it's pretty tough out here. Somebody
gotta get married out here. Like, please.
Yeah, so it's pretty tough out here. But you know what? I am here for being single. It's so fun. There's nothing better than focusing on my career.
Wow, that sounded very convincing.
Yeah.
And what's so exciting is that I don't even know the order of this, but hopefully what will be next week-ish released next week after, something in there. We are going to have an episode where we talk about this season of The Bachelor.
Whoa.
And then we talk about dating with a couple extra guests that we will not announce because we do not have their consent.
Surprise guests who we did not ask yet, but keep your eyes and your ears.
We have a lot of power in this situation, and they will be there. But we will not tell you who they are.
That part.
And Chenele will reveal, she also doesn't know this, her worst Catholic match.
Whoa.
I'm ready to hear. I already know what it is, and I think you know which one it is in the profile and the details, and we'll have to go back to find the wording. But it's a good one, so get ready.
Is it the guy that said that he refuses to go to Olive Garden?
That one was really bad, but I was talking about the one
wrong side of my mouth.
I was talking about the one that had like the very specific. Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Awesome. So
can't tell you too much.
In a couple weeks, you guys get ready for it. So crazy. Dating is hard enough. God bless Tyler Cameron. God bless Gigi Hadid.
And prayers out to all the people trying to make it happen.
Yeah, prayers out because it's hard. But here we are. It's getting warm, you guys. It's the
summertime. People are taking layers off.
People are taking layers off. They're feeling beautiful. They're feeling spicy. You want to get out there, right? You're going to go to mass after mass. You're waiting to see who's in that pew. See.
If there's donuts, you're getting a donut.
Who's lingering?
You're scoping it out.
It's lingering season.
Who prays after?
Who spends a lot of time? It's lingering season. You're waiting to see who's praying, and you're getting your man. So you get out there. You getting your man. You're getting your lady.
You're going to get coffee. You do it.
There it is. You start making friends. This is your season. Get out there, make friends, hang out, get donuts. This is your time. For our next story, which is shifting gears, we're talking more about children, which is your MO.
Here we go.
In a new study by Science Daily, they are talking all about independent play and how child mental health is at a decline. The wellness of children is at a decline, unfortunately.
Very sad stuff.
And a lot of this is linked to not letting children just play and exist on their own without adult intervention, which is interesting because every time I see a kid playing, I automatically want to be like, oh my gosh, is that a horse? Is that a drawing? And I'm asking so many questions. And until reading this article, I did not realize that that is actually very distracting for their overall emotional well-being.
So they're so focused.
Because they're so focused. So what are your thoughts on independent play? What's that vibe?
Yeah, this story is like my exact pinpointed passion.
It's her bread and butter.
I have made 2 children. I have counseled children.
She made eyelashes.
I made eyelashes. I grew fingers. But my professional life has been in school counseling. And my supervisor is a play therapist, and she was like the best of the best, still is the best of the best. Amy, if you ever listen to this, best of the best.
Shout out.
But she focused on play, and so she always, when she'd like review my sessions or she was like watching me at the session, she'd be like, stop asking questions, like stop asking questions, stop talking to them, stop trying to rush them to answers, like just watch, like just observe. And literally, like, we say in the field that like play is the language of children. And so you can learn so much about a child and what they're going through at home through their play, and like how they feel through their play. And it's the most fascinating thing in the world. And she taught me in like my play therapy classes the power of using I wonder. So like if you're playing with your kids, if you're playing with other people's kids and they're doing something, you can say like, I wonder why you built that like that. Because they don't have to answer. You're not demanding an answer. You're saying like, I'm wondering. But you can wonder forever and never have the answer, right? And so they don't feel pressure to answer. And it works because when I ask Noelle, like, why'd you build it like that? That sounds pretty like intense, right?
Yeah.
Or like, explain to me what you built. That's like, okay, now I have to like stop what I'm doing to wonder. But if I'm like, oh, I wonder why you picked that color block. she can decide if she wants to answer or not. And she might have some, like, profound reason, right? Or, like, in play therapy, we do a lot of, like, sand tray work. And that's always, like, reveals a ton. But I'll have kids, like, or when I was in the field, I would have kids, like, line up, like, toy soldiers, like, around a house. Or line up, you know, like, very interesting things. And be like, I wonder why they're out there. And then sometimes it would lead to, like, this big story. But they didn't feel like they were really having to, like, divulge. Because they were explaining this and not their life. But it was their life, because kids don't have anything. They're just, like, creating out of thin air. Like, it's based on experiences or things they've seen, either in a show, either in their real life. So there's a lot happening there. But a lot of times, like, parents feel like, okay, we're either doing some, like, structured activity that I've planned out, or I'm having them watch a show. Like, either I need to be the main entertainer or they're watching something. But kids now more than ever aren't just, like, going out and playing in nature and exploring. And they're not just, like, taking a toy and, like, figuring out how to build it, right? We have all these, like, flashy light toys that only do one thing, but they're not, like, building with Legos without, like, a step-by-step, this is what you need to follow. Like, they're not actually being able to create and imagine on their own, which is, like, then when they get older, they don't feel like they have the control to create and imagine, and they're constantly seeking the approval of other people in each step of what they're doing.
Wow.
You know? Versus, like, being like, no, I confidently, this is what I decided to do because I thought this was cool, you know?
Wow.
Which is wild because, I mean, in that article, and I know just in 2021, they declared a national crisis for mental health for young adults and, like, teens, which is insane because also as a school counselor, I'm like, oh, you should probably need more counselors. Like, you probably need more people because these kids are literally unwell. And I think the stat when I was in the county that I was a counselor in last was that 8 out of 10 middle schoolers had considered suicide, which is, like, a high number. That's 80% of 8th graders, which is, like, very intense to think about.
Yeah.
And so those stats are obviously wild. And then to link that back to independent play really makes you wonder, like, do children feel like they're free to kind of make a mistake and try again without somebody, like, staring at them and watching them? And, like, what does risky play look like for youth today? And, like, our kids, like, climbing trees? Our kids, like, riding a bike? Our kids, you know, doing things that are risky? Are we so worried because the world is literally horrifying right now? Like, it's scary to send your kids to school. It's scary to take your kids to a movie. Like, it's so scary that are we, like, bubble wrapping them to the point that they're not taking any risks?
Wow. That is a question to contemplate. I mean,
that was a lot. I could talk about this for 7 episodes straight.
I was here for that.
You all would stop listening.
There it is.
Like, this is not what I came for.
We're losing engagement. Down. But dude, that's awesome. I mean, that's awesome to hear that there's something that we can do about it.
Yeah.
And honestly, by just, like, concrete, right? Yeah. Just let these kids live. And there's so much desire. I know for me, when I'm, like, especially when I'm around your kids whom I see often, to constantly be like, oh my gosh, okay, so, like, do you see that? Do you see that? What's that called? Yeah. What sound does that make? And it takes so much for me to just stop and be like, wow, that's so beautiful. And then, like, let your kids either say something or not. Yeah. Or if we're, you know, going somewhere and just, like, listening to music, I'm not, like, trying to construct a conversation. I'm just like, all right.
Let's just relax.
Yeah, let's just relax. And Noelle will be listening to the Paw Patrol soundtrack. And we'll 100%. Just be driving, and I'll say nothing. And then all of a sudden, Noelle's like, so, do you like to hike? And I'm like, no. You know, so
Thanks for asking.
Thanks for asking. Like, we're having a conversation. So I'm not making you feel like you have to respond in a certain way. But I know that that's hard.
Yeah,
Easier said than done.
It is. And honestly, my older sister is a marriage and family therapist, and she is an icon of letting kids have risky play and, like, be able to make mistakes, like, just the absolute dream of a mother. And I remember one time her kids were climbing a tree, and they were like 6, 4, and 2. They were little, and they were climbing pretty high in the tree. And we were all like, hey, do you think you should, like, tell them to get down? Because, like, what if they fall? And she was like, it's okay. If they fall, they'll break their leg. And if they break their leg, I'll put them in the car and we'll go to the emergency room and they'll get a cast. So it's all good. She's like, and then you know what they will do? Learn how high they can climb and learn how high they can't climb. I was like, oh! Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that's
amazing. Like, yeah. Like
that's
kids,
more badass than I would be.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. But, like, kids need to be able to fall and then figure out their limits and figure out they can get back up because they're not going to believe you when you say that's too high to climb. They're not. And then eventually they're going to climb even higher and then it's going to be worse. You know? Like, they got to kind of figure it out.
Speaking of someone that just climbs so high. She's climbing the social ladder. She's climbing the celebrity
climbing the
ladder.
Way to our hearts.
Taylor Swift. Ooh. For our final story, Taylor Swift has begun her Eras tour. The Eras tour is a tour that spans all of Taylor Swift eras of music. Fearless, Taylor Swift, Reputation, what's the rest of them? 1986.
Midnight's the new one.
1969. 1970.
No, that's that band.
1986.
Gosh, what?
1986.
Yeah, the year she was born, right?
I don't know. So, but it probably says it like right here. But it spans the entire Midnights, all of it, right? All of her great music. She just started her Eras tour in Las Vegas. It was an awesome show. I watched it. I watched it. Wow.
What a thing to admit.
Pirated it on Instagram Live. Someone was streaming it, so I accidentally logged on and then I just stayed there. That was an accident. So I already saw the whole concert and it was amazing. Question for you.
Hit me with it.
What is your favorite Taylor Swift song?
Oh my gosh.
And
I'm in distress. How
would you have a part of the show go if you could construct a part of her Eras tour?
Okay. Song. I'm an all too well 10-minute version, girly. Ugh. Give me the whole 10 minutes. If I'm going to pick a song, it's going to be a full 10 minutes of Taylor Swift.
Vibes.
If I can broaden it, and this is, I think, an unpopular opinion, but my favorite album is Midnights. I love it. The most recent one. No.
She has bad taste.
It's so good. But it's like the therapist in me that likes Midnights, which we can talk about later. But I was thinking about this today a lot, like what the Taylor Swift show would be like, what I wish it would be. And in my unrealistic dream of what I wish this could be is I would love if it was like a song began and every song, the person she wrote it about rose up in a chair from underneath and she sang it to them. Just roasted them at her show.
Whoa.
That's it. That's what I would love.
It was 1989, for everyone wondering.
Oh, and secondly, the year her and my husband was born. Good.
And secondly, that would be insane.
Would that be crazy?
I cannot imagine
and just
that.
Sung it to their eyes, and they had to just sit and have everybody be like, "You were the worst," you were the best.
That would be so nuts. Yes,
that'd be crazy, right?
Oh my gosh,
so unrealistic, but it would be a dream of mine just for her to get to externally process that.
Yeah, no, absolutely, I totally get it. Wow, so for me, okay, my favorite Taylor Swift song, it's really hard. But
it's so hard.
One of my favorites is Enchanted. I love that song. My roommates and I in college, we used to dance to Enchanted.
Just dreaming of the day.
Yeah, and like the part where she's like, I was enchanted to meet you. And then she's like, please don't be in love with someone else or whatever. We used to stand in a circle and be like, please don't have somebody. And oh my gosh, I love that song. So that would probably be like my favorite. I think what I would love if I could construct a part of the show. So there's Lover, which I love that song. We can keep the Christmas lights up till January. Love that song.
So good.
And so I would probably there's an interview with John Mayer and another, water break.
You got to gear up to tell this story. I can feel it. It's going to be good.
Ooh, listen to that gulp.
Hydrated.
There's an hydrate or dihydrate. Isn't that what they say? So
is.
There's an interview with John Mayer and another celebrity, which I cannot recall. So allegedly, and they are talking about Taylor Swift, and but John Mayer will make it sound like he's not talking about her, but Avi, and he says, I used to date this girl that was so excited that she wanted to keep the Christmas lights up till January, and I was like, that's so weird, you're insane, like why would you want to keep the Christmas lights up till January? And there's many songs where Taylor Swift's like, they tell you I'm insane. And she like got really sad about being called insane. Mm-hmm. But my favorite is in Lover, where she's like, we can keep the Christmas lights up till January, because now she's dating Joe Alwyn, who they've been dating for years and they seem really happy together. Mm-hmm. So if I can construct a part of the show, it's we can keep the Christmas lights up till January. It plays that clip of John Mayer saying, I used to date this girl that was crazy, right? And then it kind of like starts glitching or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then the lights like go down out in the stadium, and then it pans down to her and she's just sitting on the stool or whatever. Beautiful. And there's that house in the music video with all the like different rooms in it.
Yes.
And people are like dancing in that house behind her, and she's just like playing it on a guitar. That's
amazing.
It. That would be mine.
Amazing.
Yeah, the way that Taylor Swift
themes, the way we want to roast her exes.
I know, dude, I know. And the way that like she works so hard, and she does. Hey, am I a Swiftie? I don't know. There have been moments.
We are, but this conversation is making me think people are gonna think we are.
There have been moments where I've been like, it's kind of hard to defend her because I just don't like that song or whatever.
Yeah.
But I do love me some Taylor Swift music.
Same.
And one of the things I do appreciate about her a lot is how hard she works. And I can't even conceptualize the mental and emotional and physical toll.
How long is her show, Chenele?
It's 3.5 hours of straight music. I forgot what team won the Super Bowl this year? Ravens?
Oh no, the
Eagles?
Oh my god.
The Gators?
Wait, I actually do watch football, so this is pretty bad, but I had no skin in the game.
The Miami Dolphins?
It was whatever that guy that just did SNL with Kelsey Ballerini, his team won.
Golden State Warriors?
People are going to be like, the way you wasn't it the Kansas City Chiefs?
So one of the guys from
one
of the guys from the Kansas City Chiefs, the really like cute one.
Yeah, those are the people that won. Yeah,
the cute one.
That's wrong.
Joe Burrow? I don't know. So
Tyler something, I think. You keep going. Yeah, him.
Oakley? I don't know. So one of the cute ones from the Kansas City Chiefs, he went to her concert and said, I cannot believe, as a football player, and I gotta find this because I'm not making this up, y'all. As a football player, I work really hard, but the way that Taylor Swift can play music and do choreography for 3.5 hours, that's 44 crazy. Songs straight.
Oh my gosh. That's a literal marathon.
Is a literal marathon. And
amazing.
The way that girl does it and will just like, she's works so hard. Amazing.
And night after night after night. Like this is going to be a long tour.
Did I try to get tickets for that tour? Absolutely.
We did.
Could I?
Bloodbath.
Yeah. It was crazy out there. So who knows? Wild. Maybe like 10 years from now or maybe like 30 years from now where she does like some sort of reunion duo tour with like the Jonas Brothers or something.
Ooh, we'd be there.
I would be there.
Tell me this, Chenele.
Yeah.
Why do you think so many people are like die hard for Taylor Swift? Like, what is it about her music in particular that she is like still here? Like, they're in Karma. She's like, others fade, but I'm still here. Like, what is it?
I love a girl that knows her worth.
She does. What is it about her music that keeps people like coming back?
Well, I went to the Reputation tour when I lived in Denver, and that tour was awesome. And during the show, she played music from different stages of my life, of everyone's life. Yeah. And so when she came out with Tim McGraw, I remember clearly I was in 8th grade. Yes.
Yep.
And I remember sitting in the music class and people being like, oh, have you guys heard Tim McGraw by this girl Taylor Swift? She's probably not going to make it, but it's like a good song.
Everybody thought.
Okay. So I remember that, right? Yeah. I remember being in college listening to Enchanted. I remember being in high school listening to like more songs from that album. I remember being in college listening to I Knew You Were Trouble and, State of Grace. And it's like Taylor Swift has music that spans people's lives, like lived experiences. And I also think that her music is really honest. And
her lyrics are.
And it expresses a lot of feelings that otherwise I think you might want to, like people, like All Too Well, 10-minute version. When she says, and you call me up again just to break me like a promise, so casually cruel in the name of being honest.
Okay.
How many of us have been waiting?
So many.
You put your phone on Do Not Disturb so you don't seem like you're waiting for your phone. And then that guy that you're waiting for like gives you a ring, or that girl you're waiting for, and you're like, dang, dude, like they call you and you're just like, hey.
And you think like, this is it. They're going to say they love me.
And they're like, hey.
You're like, I still am not into it.
And you're just like so casually cruel in the name of being honest,
We're
right?
We're not into it.
So I think, Taylor Swift just really speaks to the heart of a lot of our lived 100%. Experiences in a way that's really vulnerable. And as much as people rag on her for being that girl that writes songs about her ex-boyfriends, like she does it well.
Yeah,
and
that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I honestly, some of her songs, I'm like, I wonder if when she was younger, she like went to narrative therapy. Like, did she go to therapy and someone was like, you should try to write about your experiences. But the interesting thing is like, in therapy, a lot of times that is recommended, like for people who are more creative, for people who externally process through writing, which are lots of people it's helpful for. So a little nugget for you out there if this might be helpful. But normally we're like, hey, type up the email and like delete it, or write the letter, burn it. Like if you've ever been in youth ministry, I guarantee you've written a letter and burned it. Okay. Yeah. Like that's the process. But Taylor was like, you know what I'm going to do? I did write it. I did write down everything this person did to me. And I thought, I'll just share it for the world.
I'm going to release it.
I'm going to release it. Might even say their name.
And if I was creative too, I would release it.
I would release it. I'd let everybody know.
What would my song go? It would go, we were in 8th grade. Okay, wait.
Sit up. Yeah. Give us our best shot. Who is this about?
This is an original by Chenele Shaw. Okay. We were in 8th grade. I saw you across the cafeteria. I told you I loved you, and you didn't reciprocate it, and I never forgot, and I told my mom, and she called your mom and told her, and I was so embarrassed, and I couldn't go back to school because I was embarrassed, so I pretended to have massive, crazy diarrhea for 2 days, so mommy didn't send me to school because I was embarrassed. And that's probably how mine would go. So I think it's really important
Taylor Swift might ask for the rights to that.
Yeah, I think it's really important to be honest in the music that you write.
100%. But
shout out to Jack. I'm really sorry. I'm sorry that my mom called your mom. I really did pretend to be sick for 2 days.
She is externally processing. But don't you feel better?
I do feel better. I wrote it and I released it.
I love it. I love it. And honestly, it's just like consistently Taylor keeps doing that. And that's why people are like, I feel like Taylor Swift wrote this song about my life. Because the reality of life is like, yeah, you are all like uniquely, beautifully made by God. You're his image. But we're also like not that unique. Like our life circumstances, like lots of girls get their heart demolished by boys in high school. Demolished, right? And it kind of like, then Taylor writes a song about it. And you're like, I feel like that's about me. And then a billion other girls are like, I feel like that's about me. Yeah. Because things kind of happen.
And that's sustainable. That kind of appeal is sustainable.
Yes, like All Too Well. The reason that's my song is because that was a breakup song for me in high school. And then she released the 10-minute version. And I was like, there's even more to
And then in the music video, like in the short film, the All Too Well 10-minute version short film, when Dylan O'Brien and Sadie Sink are like fighting and she's like, you dropped my hand at the dinner.
Yes, in front of your friends.
In front of your friends. And how many of us have felt that kind of embarrassment where we're like, you embarrassed me in front of your friends. And how dare you?
I know. Yeah. And she really let us reprocess that. She's like, you know what we're going to do? We're going to open it back up and we're going to do it again and again. And there's this line in Would've, Could've, Should've that she says like, I'm living for the thrill of hitting you where it hurts. That song's about John Mayer, of course. And she really is. She's like, you know what I'm going to keep doing? Like, you hurt me, and so we're going to keep bringing this back up and making you feel it. And then, like, on a deeper note, she has Bigger Than the Whole Sky on this new album. Yeah. Which, honestly, I cannot listen to because every time it makes me want to cry. Yeah. Because a lot of people have said, like, wow, did Taylor Swift have a miscarriage? Or did she, like, beautifully write about the heartbreak of it without experiencing it? Which I think is another thing about her music is, like, the empathy is a whole new level because you know not every one of these experiences is her personal own, but she's writing about this collective experience of grief. And if you are somebody who has experienced a miscarriage, I don't know how you could possibly even listen to that song. And maybe you can, and it's like healing because it's so beautifully written. And so she just writes about the human experience in such an authentic way. And I think it gets people to keep coming back. You know?
Amen. You know, and on that note, like, God bless Taylor Swift, Tyler Cameron, Gigi Hadid. Let's pray for everyone in our stories. Kids, parents that let their kids play.
God bless. Parents that don't. You should. We'll pray for you extra.
Everyone in the Hunger Games.
Pray for them.
What else?
Everyone in Twilight.
Everyone in Twilight. God bless. Yeah, everyone in Twilight. Just want to pray for everybody that we talked about today in a specific way.
Prayers up. And for all of you listening.
And for all of you listening.
Praying for you all the time.
Thank you so much. Yes.
And hit up
our
next one where we're going to talk about
that like button.
Smash subscribe for notifications. I don't even know. Do it because the next time we're going to talk about The Bachelor.
We're going to talk about The Bachelor. You're not going to want to miss it. We have been faithfully watching these last, the whole season. And honestly, it is trash.
The most stale thing of my life.
Horrible. He is like a brown paper bag floating in the wind. It's so boring.
Vanilla. So exciting.
So we're getting ready to cover it. We might even change the vibe in here, make it red or something.
Oh, red.
I don't know.
Oh, red.
You know, we can make it like super cute in here. I don't know.
I like it. We'll get crazy.
About a poll. We'll get crazy. So join us for our next episode.
Subscribe, like. We will see you.
Comment. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.